The best way to determine how a plant's healthy is look at its overall appearance. Look at the general color, good uniform color like this plant has here. Make sure there's no leaves falling off the plant. Generally make sure the plant's not dried out. Any evidence of being root bound. Plants should not be overly root bound in the pot. Customer can check for frost damage on the plant. Typically what you would look for along the edge of the leaves are the leaf will be dead, it will be have a green dried out appearance, but it will be dead, or the entire leaf will be dead. Usually you see this with plants that have been stored outdoors during May when we have frost. In a situation like this in the greenhouse, you're not going to see any frost damaged plants at all. To check for pests, if you would look at the leaves, both the top surface of the leaf and the bottom surface of the leaf, a number of pests can be found on the underside of the leaf, things like aphids or mites. Also look for feeding damage on the leaves, especially along the margin. There'll be notched margins, or you'll find stippling on the leaves where things like mites or aphids, it's evidence of their feeding. Also check the stems on the plant, make sure that there's no insects on there. This is where you may see scale insects on woody nursery stock, and also occasionally you'll see it on nursery stock like this. Customer can tell if a plant's diseased. Normally there will be symptoms. There will be spots on the leaves. Leaves will be maybe wilting. They'll look water soaked, or there'll be a large number of leaves that are falling off. In this particular case, this plant here has chlorosis on the leaves. This is due to nutrient deficiency. Often nutrient deficiencies will mimic disease problems in plants. Customers should consider three things when considering a site for their plants. They should look at spacing of the plants, both horizontal and vertical. Want to make sure the plant's not going to outgrow that site. If you're planting in front of windows, for example, you don't want the plant to block the view as it gets older. You also want to look at soil pH for the plants, make sure it matches those. Most plants like a soil pH that's neutral. However, some plants, like blueberries, need a lower pH, and in that case you would have to amend the soil. You also need to look at the sun tolerance of the plants. Some plants like more sunny environment, and some plants are shade loving. And quite often on the labels, like this one here, this is a good example here. On the backs of these labels, there's often a symbol and some instructions. This plant is good for partial to full sunlight. You want to make sure that the plant matches the environment, so don't put a shade-loving plant into a sunny spot and a sun-loving plant in the shade. Customer can maintain and care for their plant by making sure that they're watering it properly, and also there may be some need for pruning involved. Or for the specific requirements for the plants, I would recommend that they would consult somebody like MSU Extension, go to their website and get recommendations on that plant. Or they could also talk to the folks at the garden center that they're buying the plants from. Other advice I'd give to consumers is when you buy your nursery stock and bedding plants, to buy from a reputable company, one that's established in the community.